What is going on, Cowboys Nation? NFL free agency is literally right around the corner. And I am telling you right now, this is the most important offseason for the Dallas Cowboys in years. We are not talking about the offense today. We are not even really diving into defensive tackle because honestly, you could just add a 1-year, $2 million depth piece there and call it a day. What we are talking about today is the rest of this defense, the positions where this team desperately needs help, the positions where they have not gotten the upgrades they needed, and most importantly, the players who could actually come in and transform this unit. Now, before we get into all of these names, I need you to do something for me. If you want the Cowboys to actually spend money in free agency this year, if you want Jerry Jones to open up that checkbook and bring in real talent, then smash that like button right now. I want to see 1,000+ likes on this video because we need to send a message that Cowboys Nation is ready for this team to finally make moves. And while you are at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss a single signing when free agency opens. We are going to be covering every move as it happens. All right, let us start with linebacker because this is a position group that has been a problem for the Cowboys for what feels like forever. We are going to look at some top-of-the-market options, some instant upgrades, and some aging vets who could still contribute. Starting with the big names, we have Devin Lloyd out of Jacksonville, Key Walker from Green Bay, Devin Bush from Cleveland, and the name that has been linked to Dallas more than anyone else, Nakobe Dean from Philadelphia. Now, Key Walker is interesting because he has ties with Derek Ansley, who coached him in Green Bay for a while. But here is my concern with Walker. The numbers do not necessarily show it, but I thought he regressed this year. I did not think he was as good as he had been previously. His market could be all over the place. We are talking anywhere from $8 million to $13 or $14 million, depending on how teams view him after what I thought was a down year. The name that keeps coming up over and over again, though, is Nakobe Dean. This guy had 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and he only played in 10 games. He missed time back in 2023, was absolutely awesome before getting hurt in 2024, came back healthy in 2025 and showed what he could do. Yes, he is undersized, but he clearly fits what Christian Parker would want to do on defense because Parker has already coached him before in Philadelphia. There has been so much buzz around Nakobe Dean coming out of the combine that it almost feels like too much buzz, if you know what I mean. It makes me wonder if some of this is leverage, if there is somebody else in the mix trying to drive the price up because of that Christian Parker connection. But regardless, this is absolutely a key name to monitor throughout free agency. So here is what I want from you, Cowboys Nation. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Not who you want the Cowboys to sign, not who you think they should sign, but who do you think they actually will end up signing at linebacker? Give me those names. Now let us talk about some instant upgrade options at the linebacker position because honestly, almost everybody in free agency would be an upgrade over what the Cowboys have been running out there. Caden Ellis from the Falcons is an intriguing player. Leo Chanel is out there. Bobby Okereke from the Giants got cut by the team. So if you want to play the comp pick game, he would not qualify on that side of things, which normally the Cowboys care about, but I do not want them playing that game this year. I want them to spend. Shadi had praised Okereke, but I thought he kind of took a step back this year and was not as good. This would fit the old Cowboys mentality of going for affordable options, but I want more than that this offseason. 2 Broncos linebackers are worth mentioning, Justin Sternad and Alex Singleton. I think Singleton would be a bit more appealing of the two. Sternad wants to start somewhere, and if the Broncos bring him back, that probably means he is going to be a starter, which means they lose Singleton or move on from Dre Greenlaw or something along those lines. Singleton has been really good outside of missing time back in 2024, and he has a tie with Christian Parker from their brief time together in Denver. Then there is Quincy Williams, Quinn Ewers' brother, who I have joked is basically a pre-Cowboy at this point. Was he as good this year? No, but was anybody on the Jets good this year? The whole team stunk. I wonder if that decline was his new normal or if it was just a one-off, because of the terrible situation he was in. Here is the thing, Cowboys Nation. You could go get 2 linebackers if you wanted to. You could sign a Nakobe Dean and a Quincy Williams, depending on what the cost ends up being. The position is that thin for this team. Some aging vets to consider as well. Bobby Wagner is still out there. Alex Anzalone fits this market, and he is not even that old. Matt Milano cannot stay healthy, but he has been talented in the past. Jermaine Pratt had a bit of a rehab season, and Demario Davis is a guy I would absolutely love, but it sounds like he is going to go ring hunting, and he may not think Dallas is the best spot for him to do that. Although I will say the Brandon Staley defense from last year in New Orleans is not that drastically different from what I expect you will see from the Christian Parker defense, so there could be a fit there. Give me one of these linebackers, and I will be happy. That is all I am asking for at this position. All right, let us move on to cornerback, because this is where things get really interesting. I am separating outside cornerbacks from nickel corners because there is a distinction that matters here. Top outside cornerback options include Jalen Watson with the Chiefs, Tariq Woolen, who fits the outside mold, but then you have to ask, who is your nickel? Jamal Dean, Eric Stokes, who had a bit of a bounce back year and has been linked to the Cowboys, Deshaun Wright from the Bears, if you want to bring him back, which I doubt they would. Cordell Flott, who I always thought could maybe try some inside stuff. Asante Samuel Jr., who has the size of an inside player but plays on the outside. 2 Jaguars corners in Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome, who fits their typical mold as a former first-round pick guy that the Cowboys love to target. But here is where things get really interesting. If the Cowboys want Darren Bland to stick on the outside, which I do not know for certain, by the way, then the nickel spot becomes the priority. The names that stand out there are Roger McCreary, Dayford, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but the splash nickel pickup that makes the most sense is Alontae Taylor. Taylor had been linked to Philadelphia at the trade deadline when Bishop Parker was there, so in theory, it is a fit. Plus, we mentioned the Brandon Staley defense is not that different from what Christian Parker might run. Taylor also played under Derek Ansley when Ansley was his defensive coordinator at Tennessee in college. He has been a big nickel corner for the Saints, and he will support in the run game too. He can be a little inconsistent in the passing game, but if you want to spend on a free agent nickel, Taylor is the name to monitor. Then there is C.J. Gardner-Johnson, or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as he is officially known. He has bounced around in recent years with 3 teams in 2 years, which is a bit of a concern. That includes 2 stints with Philadelphia, one of them with Christian Parker. He is the best trash talker in the game. He is also a borderline insane person, and sometimes that goes too far. I think Parker would know if he wants to put that energy in his locker room, but Gardner-Johnson would be cheap because he has bounced around quite a bit. If and when the Cowboys miss on their top targets at cornerback, they will do something. It is just hopefully bigger stuff than what they have done in the past. Now, you all know I am a sucker for a good safety. I have always wanted the Cowboys to draft somebody at this position. I loved Brian Branch. I loved Antoine Winfield. I liked Juan Thornhill a lot over Tristan Hill, which, okay, Thornhill has not been great, but he has been better than Hill ever was. Top safeties on the market include Brian Cook from the Chiefs, Kobe Bryant from Seattle, who would be a really good fit but might be expensive, Cam Curl from the Rams, who I think could potentially fit as well, and 2 Bears players in Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker. Byard has bounced around over the course of his NFL career, at least recently, and he was briefly with Philadelphia back in 2023. The Bears the past 2 years kind of rehabbed his value when it looked like he might not have much left in the tank. He has done a great job, although he did not play with Christian Parker when he was in Philadelphia, just to be clear. Brisker is a bit more of a box safety, but he can do split safety stuff. Brisker has been like the good version of Donovan Wilson. When he is on, the Bears have great success. Remember that playoff game where he blew up one drive by himself? That was incredible, and that does not happen very often. But Brisker is like all the good games you saw from Donovan Wilson. That is what you think you would be getting out of him. Some instant upgrades at safety include Nick Cross, who had a down season, so he would be different, I suspect. Jalen Hawkins had a rebound season. Luis Gilman has some ties with the Chargers from his time with Derek Ansley. But the two names I really like are Jalen Thompson and Reed Blankenship. They are different safeties. The Cardinals have been doing some fun 3 safety looks, by the way, and Thompson was fun in that role. Nobody paid attention to the Cardinals because they stunk, but Thompson could do nickel or safety for you. If you cannot get the nickel you want, he could be a stopgap option. He can also rotate down and do split safety stuff. Thompson is not a household name, and the strong safety draft class this year might drive down his value, which makes him even more appealing. Reed Blankenship is another guy I would have a lot of interest in. Now, I do not think he can do the nickel stuff that Thompson could, but he fits well as a split safety. If you get a nickel locked in and you want a veteran safety, then Blankenship stands out. He knows the Christian Parker defense. He is going to compete. He is going to be a hard, gritty player for you. He has exceeded his talent level throughout his career, and I mean that as a good thing. He is not a superstar, but he is a starting caliber safety. So of these two, who would you rather have? Drop JT in the comments for Jalen Thompson or RB for Reed Blankenship. Let me know. All right, let us finish with edge rusher, because I would really like it if the Cowboys signed at least one good edge in free agency. The big ticket items start with Jalen Phillips and his ties to Christian Parker. Phillips is really good when healthy. Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals would be expensive. Azeez Ojulari could be super expensive. Khalil Mack is out there. And I kind of wonder if he and some of these other older guys just make sense for the Ravens or Chargers with the ties to the coaches there. Instant upgrade options include Bradley Chubb, who is an older player but fits very well. Draymond Jones has been linked a few times, and we will come back to him. Boo Mafi from the Seahawks had a bit of a bounce back and would not be as expensive. Kayvon Thibodeau is interesting because the Cowboys liked him coming out of LSU, and he was almost the pick over CeeDee Lamb. He had a career year this past season. Malcolm Kuntz is kind of like the meme of, can we have Max Crosby? And mom says, no, we have Max Crosby at home. Looking at Chubb's last 4 years, the pressures have dipped a little bit, but I would have interest in a 1-year prove-it type of contract. He did not play in 2024, but normally another year removed from injury means you are better. Draymond Jones, kind of low-key, had a nice season for both the Titans and the Ravens in maybe a surprise fashion. Malcolm Kuntz was really good in 2023, tore his ACL, and did not play in a defense that did not get many high-quality pass rush looks. I think you can get better production out of Kuntz closer to his 2023 numbers if you were to bring him in. Other instant upgrades include Joey Bosa, who is obviously past his prime but still has something left, Quincy Payne, Arnold Ebiketie, who probably would not be crazy expensive, and Arden Key. These guys are not number ones at this point in their careers, but compared to what the Cowboys have been running out there with James Houston, they are absolutely upgrades. Extra depth pieces that I would like include Barry Fitz, who is almost like a run stopper, Hassan Reddick, who makes sense for this defensive scheme if you trust the guy at this point, DJ Wanham with his ties to the Viking style of defense, AJ Espinoza, who is not my favorite, but if he is your fourth edge, you are probably okay. Josh Uche, who is more of a pass rusher only guy, but has shown some flashes, and Leonard Floyd, who honestly almost fits the instant upgrade category. All right, Cowboys Nation, that is the complete breakdown of defensive free agent targets by position. We covered linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, and edge rushers. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think the Cowboys are actually going to sign? Not who you want, who you think they will actually get. Drop those predictions in the comments. If you want to see the Cowboys finally spend in free agency, hit that like button right now. Let us get this video to 1,000 likes and send a message. Subscribe if you have not already, so you do not miss any signing news when free agency opens. We are going to be all over it. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, take care, and we will see you in the next one.